Chapter 1 of Some Problems of Philosophy, A Beginning of an Introduction to Philosophy, by William James. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Some Problems of Philosophy. He, Charles Renouvier, was one of the greatest of philosophic characters. But for the decisive impression made on me in the 70s by his masterly advocacy of pluralism, I might never have got free from the monistic superstition under which I had grown up. The present volume, in short, might never have been written. This is why, feeling endlessly thankful as I do, I dedicate this textbook to the great Renouvier's memory. Prefatory Note. For several years before his death, Professor William James cherished the purpose of stating his views on certain problems of metaphysics in a book addressed particularly to the readers of philosophy. He began the actual writing of this introductory textbook for students in metaphysics, as he once called it, in March 1909. And to complete it was at last his dearest ambition. But illness and other demands on his diminished strength continued to interfere, and what is now published is all that he had succeeded in writing when he died in August 1910. 2 typewritten copies of his unfinished manuscript were found. They had been corrected separately. A comparison of the independent alterations in the 2 copies showed few and slight differences in phrase and detail, and indicated no formed intention to make substantial changes. Yet the author perhaps expected to make some further alterations in a final revision, if he could finish the book, for in a memorandum dated July 26, 1910, in which he directed the publication of the manuscript, he wrote, "Say it is fragmentary and unrevised." This memorandum continues, "Call it a beginning of an introduction to philosophy. Say that I hoped by it to round out my system, which now was too much like an arch built only on one side." In compliance with the author's request left in the same memorandum, his pupil and friend, Dr. H. M. Kalin, has compared the 2 versions of the manuscript and largely prepared the book for the press. The divisions and headings in the manuscript were incomplete, and for helpful suggestions as to these grateful acknowledgments are due to Professor R. B. Perry. Henry James, Jr., Cambridge, March 25, 1911. Chapter 1 Philosophy and its Critics. The progress of society is due to the fact that individuals vary from the human average in all sorts of directions, and that the originality is often so attractive or useful that they are recognized by their tribe as leaders, and become objects of envy or admiration, and setters of new ideals. Among the variations, every generation of men produces some individuals exceptionally preoccupied with theory. Such men find matter for puzzle and astonishment where no one else does. Their imagination invents explanations and combines them. They store up the learning of their time, utter prophecies and warnings, and are regarded as sages. Philosophy, etymologically meaning the love of wisdom, is the work of this class of minds, regarded with an indulgent relish, if not with admiration, even by those who do not understand them or believe much in the truth which they proclaim. Philosophy, thus become a race heritage, forms in its totality a monstrously unwieldy mass of learning. So taken, there is no reason why any special science like chemistry or astronomy should be excluded from it. By common consent, however, special sciences are today excluded, for reasons presently to be explained, and what remains is manageable enough to be taught under the name of philosophy by one man if his interest be broad enough. If this were a German textbook, I should first give my abstract definition of the topic, thus limited by usage, then proceed to display its Begriff und Einteilung, and its Aufgabe und Methode. But as such displays are usually unintelligible to beginners, and unnecessary after reading the book, it will conduce to brevity to omit that chapter altogether, useful though it might possibly be to more advanced readers as a summary.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?